Hello and welcome to today's content, which will be on Cetia since she is coming out this Wednesday and I will be doing a new unit analysis on her. I know this is early and I usually really don't like doing this because it's not the fully translated information we get from her and on WOTV Calc website specifically, but because I have obligations coming up in the week starting tomorrow, I will be probably pretty busy. So yeah, this is an early release of basically overall what her kit will be. Is she worth pulling for her? What can she provide for your team, etc. And yeah, without further ado, let's begin. So here we are for our abilities. Cetia is going to have the main job, Warriors of the Crystals, but because she is a fire element, her own personal one is going to be fire. So her primary job basically is going to be using missile attacks mostly. She has Ash Blade, Flame Blessing. Just keep in mind these are translated names. These are not going to be exact one for one when it comes out on our side on Wednesday. These are just translated names. However, the pictures like this, which is Thermal Exposure and like Flame Binding Bowshot, those are already translated. So yeah, those are going to be there pretty much. An Area of Fire. And then lastly is going to be her Limit Break, which is Flight of the Firebird, which is going to lower fire resistance and deal good damage. So yeah, overall, as you can see from her kit already, she has a lot of utility. For her EX upgrades, Thermal Exposure's EX upgrade is going to make it so that instead of only 3 casts, it now has 4 casts, and 4 times, cast, same thing. And the AP cost turns to 37, so it goes down from 44 to 37. Keep in mind she does have AP consumption decrease. So getting any amount of AP cost reduced is significantly helping her overall. And then her actual EX upgrade is going to be Broken Armor. I expect this translation to probably be like Broken Arrow or like Armor Break Arrow or something like that, but yeah, this is going to lower defense AoE and then deal damage. So a lot of her abilities have a lot of debuffs or like imperils before they hit, and the debuffs specifically for like down attack or stun are going to be after she hits, so just keep that in mind in terms of accuracy stuff. For sub-jobs, for her main sub-job, she's going to get Flame Mad Bow, that is obviously not going to be the right translation, and Crimson Paralyzed Arrow. Kind of like what it has for snipers, it's going to be like Paralyzing Trap or Paralyzing Shot, it's going to be kind of like that. I will say Flame Mad Bow is going to be a single target for Berserk, which you can do some cheese with it, but I wouldn't really rely on that too much. She has way better abilities that she can be using instead of that. She does have the Viking sub-job, so she does get Rebellious Spirit, Kneebreaker, Warcry, Launch, and Drain Cyclone. As you can see for this, in terms of specifically PvE content, she actually has some really good stuff going for her. And then lastly is going to be the Sniper sub-job on top of her main job that's already like missile. She's going to have Target, Paralyzing Trap, Slow Shot, Arm Shot, Target Share, and Barrier Break Arrow. They had to decide if they were going to give her Dispel Spread or Barrier Break Arrow. In my honest 100% opinion, I think Dispel Spread is really freaking good. However, Barrier Break Arrow is also not bad in its own right. So yeah, in the end, you can't really go wrong with the Sniper sub-job. It just has too much extra utility. The Viking sub-job is not too bad. However, I will explain in her rating page why I can't really like recommend it too much outside of like PvE stuff. I'm talking mostly like PvP. Here we are for her resistances and passives. So resistances to damage types is going to be 5% to slash, negative 5% to pierce, negative 5% to strike, 0% to missile, and then 20% to magic. So you can see already magic attack type is going to be her strongest resistance by far, and it's not by a small amount either. So yeah, this is pretty good. She starts with 0% AoE, 0% single target AoE resistance. Her level 120, Master Barrel included, she does have 0 defense and 0 spirit. Her resistances to statuses is going to be 50% to Sleep and Frostbite. I will say right here, Sleep, not bad, especially because of Mua, that just, more the merrier that came out. Sleep is not bad. Frostbite, not really seen too much. Berserk, almost never seen as much anymore either. So yeah, overall, I think her statuses for resistances are kind of bad, outside of the Sleep, which is definitely very nice to have. For her master ability, she's going to get the Mono Fire one, obviously, and then she gets 20% defense penetration and then 10% more magic resistance. This does mean that she does have a base of 30% magic attack resistance, which is really high. As a unit, she is a 3-move 2-jump 100 cost unit, so she is going to be a little bit more on the pricey side in general when you're pulling for her, just in general. For her passives and what I recommend, these are obviously not going to be the correct, obviously, like name translations, but Shurane Shooting Method, which is probably going to be like long range, something like that in terms of like sniper, is going to increase the range by 2. This is very important for ranged units because you do not really want them to get hit. After that, she has something called like fiery archery or something like that, and then the upgraded version, which is the EX upgrade, is going to be like even better because in total she's going to get 12% agility, which she kind of needs because she's kind of on the slower end compared to most other missile units. She also gets missile resistance penetration by 40%, which is a good amount, and then she also gets AP consumption decreased by 25% for herself. This is huge. In certain builds and scenarios, I do see Sniper Mastery being good. However, I do have to say, if you do give up one of the other passives for Sniper Mastery, just keep in mind you are giving up a lot in that situation. For the niche and flex, Viking Lore is good for the HP and attack, but I don't see them ever being more useful than the other 3 that I mentioned before though in most practical situations. Obviously in like player PvE it might be possible, but yeah, outside of that, not really too much. Unyielding protection, 15% missile resistance is not going to save you from a Jaden. Long range itself, since this is the only base amount from snipers, it's not going to be anywhere good as her main job one, because the main job one literally just gives you 2 range, so it's another range on top of it already. So yeah, it's you're not really going to be using long range too often. For her reaction abilities, it's called Shaking Flame Physique, which I don't know why it's called that, but it's probably going to be translated to something else. It is literally Reflex. It does the same thing as Reflex. Use it. I cannot recommend anything else except for Reflex, because you guys already know how annoying, how cheap, and how broken Reflex can be in the right situations. Like, it always works for your enemies, but not for you. Reflex is too good. From here, though, she does have Counter Smoke and Fighting Spirit. You don't really want her to use either of those because, one, I'll say right now, her luck stat is abysmal. She's never evading anything. Just realistically speaking, if they're anything competent, she's not evading. 2, Fighting Spirit, if she gets berserked herself, which she also has a little bit of resistance to it, you do have to keep in mind that she does not use her other abilities, she's just auto-attacking. So yeah, in the end, use Reflex 9.999% out of the times, out of 10, it will always be better. I mean, I think I said that wrong, but yeah, 9.9 out of 10 of the times, Reflex will just be better. And here we are at Cetia's rating out of 5. In the end, I did rate her as a 4 out of 5. I do think she's a very solid unit. However, she is lacking some crucial things that are not pushing her towards the upper limit of 4.5 out of 5 or 5 out of 5, which I would consider as like an S tier. Unfortunately, I would put her at a very, very high A tier, but she struggles to get a little bit to the S tier in my situation. So let's talk about the pros. At level 120, she does have 3,354 HP and a base of 2,968, which is not bad at all. It's pretty nice. She's a little bit on the beefier end of HP in terms of missile units. Her attack is a base of 341, which is low. However, she does have a 486 total, which is higher. It's very nice to have. For her agility specifically, she's at 62 agility. She has a base of 56, which is not bad, but 62 agility in general is pretty slow. And then 68 with her passive, which does put her at a more competitive pace of agility. Her magic attack resistance is at 30% because of her master ability, which is very, very strong. It literally, like any magic attack like focused users, will have a struggle taking out Cetia, including Helena, just because of that much magic attack resistance without any items, without any equipment, without any espers is very, very high. Even with penetration, like you still have to consider that. Her luck is a base of 155 and the total is 208. You already can tell, scaling not only now and into second year because of sub-vision cards, her luck is horrible. 155 as a base is one of the lowest in the games in terms of level like EXable units. 208 is also very low on the luck side of things. So yeah, her accuracy is not going to be too great. She does though, for pros, she does have an insane amount of utility she brings to the table. She literally has re-raise removal, she has healing down, she has reaction ability down, she has defense imperil, she has a fire imperil. She has so much stuff she can bring to the table, but that does mean she is reliable on those debuffs and imperils to land. She has a huge amount of large AoE, regular AoE, and single target abilities, all with effective debuffs and imperils. As you saw, I forgot which one, the very large AoE one, that one that you can spam 4 times if you have enough AP, that is very insanely strong and annoying to fight against, especially because it also lowers healing and reaction ability. No Aeon bonds there. There's gonna be no like strong healing either. She's literally dumpstering your team from far away if you do not handle her quickly. Like, I think that is literally what thermal exposure is, the EX upgrade. It allows it to be spammable 4 times. Barrage, I believe at max can be used 3 times, 2 or 3 times, but her specifically with her EX upgrade, she can spam it 4 times, and it has the extra added effect. It's not just raw damage like Barrage. So yeah, she does have a very, very capable damage. Well, damage spam. She also has very high missile resistance penetration, so damage is very actually hard to mitigate against her. Specifically for missile, since she has 40% base, and then with the diamond coat she can get to, I think that adds like 15%. So she goes to 55% missile attack resistance penetration. It is very hard to mitigate damage from her in terms of missile, so just keep that in mind. She has good positioning on maps with rocky movement due to 3 move and 2 jump, just like other like snipers and like ranged units. Not necessarily missile because gunners don't have good movement, but her specifically, since she's a bow user and she's like a sniper, 3 move 2 jump helps them position much more easily compared to gunners. Now let's talk about the cons. Why kind of she does not make the S tier list in my opinion. Unfortunately, she does not have one utility of Dispel Spread even in her sniper sub job. I do have to say it's surprising she did not get it on her main job, if anything, but I mean, she does at least have the physical barrier. I mean, not physical barrier break. Actually, yeah, it is. Yeah, barrier break arrow. But yeah, at least she has a barrier break, but she does not have the spell spread, unfortunately. But that's not like the end of the world. That's like more of a minor thing, but it is still important. All the abilities cost a good amount of AP. While having AP consumption lowered though in her ability, she still needs bells to operate consistently. As you saw, 37 AP, even when it's reduced, it still be in the 30s. To use that 4 times, she needs an insane amount of AP. That's literally like 120 AP, like even higher than that. So like, she does need AP generation. With a base of 20 defense penetration, if you don't use Platinum Bow or don't use her Broken Armor ability, which is like the tentative translation of the name for her Defense Imperil Arrow EX ability, Cetia will have a hard time against high defense tanks. If she's not breaking the defense or like not penetrating through it properly, she will have a hard time against those type of tanks because her base defense penetration is not there. Despite boasting an insanely high magic attack resistance of 30%, having a base of 0 spirit does mean that she's very vulnerable to other magic damage, means from like other resistances. This means like Jaden, Elena, all them will do insanely high damage on her because she's not mitigating against those, like even like secondarily, like she's not mitigating against those pretty well. This does mean if you do lower her magic attack resistance with like an Imperil with like magic attack resistance specifically, that means she will be quite vulnerable to that too. So she is not quite invincible there, but she is very beefy there. Damage can be split into slash and missile, but with no real slash penetration and poor modifiers with it. Her max was like 165% on that, which was like launch from Viking subjob, and no real slash penetration and poor modifiers, as I said. Outside of PvE or very niche situations, the damage is really subpar compared to her missile DPS. Not only is her missile DPS she's getting more damage from in general, not only from her bow, but also because she has missile resistance penetration. So yeah, just in general, her missile stuff is going to be far outclass her slash stuff. Also, her slash abilities do not even do much like debuffs and imperils and status effects compared to her bow abilities. And lastly, the real reason why she did not make at least a 4.5 out of 5 as a unit is that her accuracy is very abysmal. With just one vision card setup alone, if you just put only one vision card on her, if you compare it to someone like Kayn, she is already behind 30 accuracy because of her horrible luck scaling. If she uses her sniper passive, she'll still be behind 21 accuracy. The investment needed in terms of her to be more viable in accuracy is insanely high just to be on the same tier or level. Especially for like Mua, the lunar version of her, Mua Demarier that came out, and Kayn, she is significantly behind them in accuracy. I will say though, Mua Demarier is a little bit more niche because her accuracy is literally off the charts. It's not really I'm gonna say it, but it's like it's not really balanced for what we're using right now. But yeah, she does have insanely high accuracy. Cetia unfortunately does not, and I'll say for the too long didn't read, just for those people who are like, oh, but I can still get like a lot of accuracy on her, I can stack a lot. Keep in mind, if you were to use the same resources that you stacked on her for accuracy, you could do it on another like DPS unit, most of the DPS units, and get a better result in accuracy. I will say too long didn't read, just treat it as if that you are missing one vision card at all times for accuracy for Cetia if you have her with an accuracy build compared to someone else using the exact same setup. Just think of it like that. So in the end, while she can get decent accuracy with a very heavy accuracy build, you have to consider you are using multiple vision cards just to get her accuracy up. And lastly, let's talk about her TMR rating. I don't know what the translation name for this is. Sorry, I just kept it in Japanese. I do in the end give it a 3.5 out of 5. I thought about 4 out of 5. I mean 4 out of 5, but in the end it did not make it. So it is an accessory at least. 220 HP is horrible. 6 Spirit is it's alright. Agility of 5 is not bad. This is primarily the reason why it even has a decent rating. Accuracy of 6, very neglectable. And yeah, here we go for this specifically. The active effect on it is going to increase your missile attack by 25 for 3 turns and restores AP by 20 for themselves. So it's a decent AP generation for one use. And the reason why I didn't put this TMR rating even higher is because it only has one cast and it's only 20 for TP. So you would get 20 AP for using it, and then you get 12 from the TP cost unless you have other generation means. So you get 32 pretty much just from using this, which is not bad. However, because it only has one cast, this is not reliable compared to a lot of other things that you can use for TMRs. It's decent though because it has the extra agility on it. And yeah, basically in the end, that is my rating for Cetia. I really hope you guys enjoyed that, especially because it's an early review, and I hope it's not wrong information in terms of translation, but this should be roughly correct on what it is. If you do pull for her, good luck. I will probably be skipping her after I just got burned pretty badly for pity on Mua, so yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, we'll see. Maybe I get her free on the ticket and I praise Gumi or something, but yeah. Other than that, until the next video, guys, please have fun out there. Good luck on the pulls, and peace out.